Just like that, Bahrain is already in the background, and we've got Tim Kraaij at GPblog standing in front of the Corniche in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Not really a chance to catch your breath and enjoy the Middle East, Tim. It's been a very busy old time, but I bet you're a little bit happier than Max Verstappen, who was in fiery spirits today.
Enjoy the Middle East. You're the funny one. Look, there's a lot of talk about Max, about his future, about the problems that were at Red Bull. And he was sitting in a press conference with Fernando and Isaac Hadjar, and almost all the questions were for Max. So it was full on onto his future. And the last weeks have been a lot about his future. Aston Martin has been in talks, Mercedes has been in talks. Ralf Schumacher even came up with Alpine as a possible future team for Max Verstappen. So it's all about his future in here, and he doesn't want to talk about it. It's not up to him. He is working on the car, trying to get the best out of it. There are other options, and yeah, that's in line with the problems that there are at Red Bull Racing as well, especially the ones that we had in Bahrain, of course.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit barbed, every answer he was giving to the transcript that I was reading. One that really intrigued me was quite a sharp response to Crofty, the Sky Sports commentator.
Yeah, it was quite sharp in that, yeah, Red Bull and Max will focus on the car, and that David should focus his attention on commentating because that's his job. So was quite sharp as the Max we know. In the Dutch session with only the Dutch media later on, normally he gives a little bit more, but even there he kept it quite calm. Of course, there are troubles behind the scenes because the car is not developing as much as other competitors. Christian Horner on Sunday said it's all to do with correlation, that the wind tunnel is not giving them the data that they want for the car on track. I asked Max a little bit more about that. Max is saying that the attention shouldn't be all at only the wind tunnel because in his opinion, there are more troubles. It's also the fact that the technical team hasn't been able to develop the car in a more sufficient way than it should have done. And I think that's more of a problem than a wind tunnel. Maybe the choice that Max has to make in the future is this technical team able to make changes, make a better car with this wind tunnel? Max at the moment still says he believes so, but it will become a lot harder if the other competitors like an Aston Martin, but also a McLaren and a Mercedes have more high-tech wind tunnels in which they can develop the car better.
McLaren are doing brilliant, and when you're at the front, the development always seems a bit more slower paced, but there's no slow pace with Piastri and Norris. What are they saying about how the developments are going to go? Because you found out last weekend at Bahrain that the development might not be the same as they were doing back in 2024.
Yeah, that was for me at least the most important question with McLaren because last year they brought a big update in Miami and it was only for Lando Norris, and they did the same at multiple other events during last season in which Lando was able to catch up to Max in the championship standing more easily than Oscar was because he was always a race behind. So I asked on Sunday in Bahrain to Andrea Stella what the vision for this year would be, and he kept it a little bit more vague. I asked the same question to Oscar Piastri this afternoon, and he was a little bit more direct in which he thinks McLaren now has a good position in the Constructors' Championship. He thinks that with them now both being able, Lando and Oscar both being able to fight for a championship, it would make more sense to give equal treatment to both drivers. There was no confirmation for Oscar that that will be the case, but it sounded like that has been talked over within the team. And it is a little bit in line with what Andrea said on Sunday after the Grand Prix in Bahrain, because he said that there has been talks within the team. He still wanted to see how much the competition could be of an effect in this battle. So I think it all depends on how close someone like George and Max are still in the standings. So in that way, it will still be interesting to see who comes out of top after Jeddah, because yeah, moving to Miami and then moving to Imola where the European season starts, that's normally the time where you come with updates. So I think whether or not McLaren use equal development plans, I think as a driver, you still want to be on top just to be sure that you're the one that at least get the first ones and then, yeah, see if your teammate gets the other ones as well.
No on-track action, but plenty going on behind the scenes as ever. Going to be fascinating to see how European season goes, but let's focus first on Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. You're on the ground in Jeddah all weekend, Tim. Thank you again, as ever, for giving us such insight from the paddock, and thank you everybody for watching. Keep in touch with Tim at gpblog.com and keep in touch with us with more updates throughout the weekend.